Welcome to another Rankin video. Yes, it's been a while since I've done a Rankin video. This is another director Rankin video, and this is my third one. And today I am ranking all 18 of the Coen brothers films. Yes, finally, I'm back to ranking directors' films. It's been a while. I don't know. It's just been kind of hard to, track down all of these directors' films. I'm still, of course, doing Martin Scorsese and Tim Burton, and I'm even working on a Pixar ranking as well. And yes, I'm still doing my David Lynch ranking too, but I still have to finish Twin Peaks season 2, and then I'll watch Fire Walk with Me. I don't know when they'll be, but hopefully sometime this year, But anyways, but I finally got around to watching all of the Coen brothers films, and this is my ranking from my least favorite to my favorite. All right, so couple things I should say. One thing I'll say, I am not including Joe Coen's new film, The Tragedy of Macbeth, because it only Joe Coen worked on that movie. Ethan Coen had nothing to do with it. I'm only doing the ones they did together, and I haven't even seen that movie anyways. But even if I did, I wouldn't include that because Ethan Coen had nothing to do with that movie. Also, they did do a anthology movie, which I haven't seen either, but I'm not including that anyways because other directors have done it, so I'm only doing the movies that they've done, like I said, that they full length feature films that they've done together. And I think there was something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah. Keep in mind these are my personal opinions. There might be some. There's going to be some of their movies, some of their like most popular movies. I think I like all their popular ones pretty much, but some of them are a little bit lower than others, and there might be there's going to be a movie on here that most people don't like that I have it a little bit high because I actually did enjoy it. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can. I'm going to at least try to keep this under 40 minutes at least. It might go over 30, but let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So, all right, coming in at number 18, my least favorite Coen Brothers movie is, and this one might piss some people off because apparently this actually does have a fan base. There's actual people that do like this movie, but I don't see how because I did not like this movie at all. Number 18 is Hail Caesar. Yeah, Hail Caesar is my least favorite Coen Brothers movie. I just don't understand why people like this movie. It's boring. This movie did not do anything for me. There was nothing at all for me that I liked, really. And also, this movie has a big all-star cast. You got people like Josh Brolin, Jonah Hill, Scarlett Johansson, Tilda Swinton, Ray Fiennes. A lot of these great actors, but none of their... Oh, and George Clooney, too. And none of their performances stood out. There was not one performance that stood out to me in this movie. I mean, maybe the best performance in the movie would probably go to Josh Brolin, but even his performance in this movie didn't do much for me. There's also another Josh Brolin movie on here that I didn't really care for his performance in the movie, but I did like the movie. But anyways, but yeah, I really did not like Hail Caesar. I thought it was boring for the most part, and I didn't even think this movie was funny either. And the story doesn't make any sense to me. I really did not like Hail Caesar, and that is my least favorite Coen Brothers movie, number 18. Okay, number 17 is a movie that most people I don't think like, and I do get why they don't like this movie because it's not very good. That's Intolerable Cruelty. Yeah, starring George Clooney and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Yeah, this movie. Now, I have it higher than Hell Caesar because at least there was a little bit of funny stuff in this movie. Cedric the Entertainer was hilarious in this film. He was the best part, in my opinion. Every single time he was on screen, he just made me laugh so hard. He kept saying, "I'm gonna nail your ass." It just made me laugh so much. And George Clooney, he was pretty good in the movie. I'll give him that. He was better in this than he was in Hell Caesar, and he had some funny moments. Catherine Zeta-Jones, though, I didn't care for. Like, I didn't like her character, and I didn't like her performance. She was very bland, and all she did in the movie was smile, pretty much. And, well, there was one scene where she was crying, but, yeah, even that scene, it wasn't very believable, and I don't know, her smile, like, it wasn't even, like, a cute smile. I mean, don't get me wrong, she is a beautiful woman, but I don't know. Her smile, it wasn't like a cute smile. It's kind of like an awkward smile. It was just, I don't know. I just didn't like her in this movie. And this is the only movie with her I've ever seen. So as far as I know, she could be a decent actress. I don't know. But I did not like her in this movie. And this movie itself, just wasn't into at all, really. Except for Cedric the Entertainer. But that's about it. Anyways, so yeah, that's number 17. All right, number 16. Now, this movie I didn't think was bad. It just didn't do much for me. Number 16 is A Serious Man. And I think this is kind of a divisive film from the Coen brothers. I think there's some people that really like it, and there's some that don't like it. And I didn't care for it myself. I don't think it's a bad movie. In fact, it's interesting, actually. This is probably the Coen brothers' most unique film. But I don't know. It just didn't do much for me. It was a little bit funny. There were some parts that kind of made me laugh, but that's about it. The performance by the lead actor, I don't remember his name, sorry, but he was okay. This movie kind of, in a way, reminds me of American Beauty, sort of, because it has this main character who's, like, not liking his life at the moment, you know? It's a little bit similar to American Beauty, but just not even close as good as American Beauty. So, yeah, it is a very interesting film from the Coen brothers, but I just wasn't into it that much, and I don't really see myself watching it again. It was a one-and-done movie. It's okay. I just didn't care for it that much. So, yeah, Serious Man is number 16. Okay, number 15. Now, this one I thought was okay. I didn't hate this movie, but I wasn't into it that much. Number 15, and this is also a pretty unique film from the Coen brothers. This is The Man Who Wasn't There, starring Billy Bob Thornton and Frances McDormand and Scarlett Johansson and James Gandolfini, is that his name, from Sopranos? Yeah. This movie was okay. I did like the black and white cinematography. That looked really good. And Billy Bob Thornton's performance, he was really good in this movie. Frances McDormand, too, she was pretty good. And I didn't really like her character, but, you know, her performance was alright. It wasn't bad. And I thought Scarlett Johansson wasn't bad. You know, she was okay. But, yeah, I don't know. This movie just didn't do a whole lot for me either. It was mostly due to the story. I found this movie to be a little bit boring, honestly, and the story just wasn't, I don't know. I just didn't care for the story too much. But I will say the third act was kind of, that's where things were getting a little better, was the third act. But then the movie just ends, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. But I do kind of want to rewatch this movie. Maybe I'll like it better, because it wasn't a bad movie at all. It was actually pretty good. I just wasn't a big fan of it, but I do see myself rewatching it sometime. So yeah, The Man Who Wasn't There, that's number 15. Okay, number 14. Now this is one of the most divisive Coen Brothers films, and I actually do have it on Blu-ray, but I will say I'm not a fan of it, but I do have it on Blu-ray because I want to like this movie. Number 14 is Burn After Reading. Yeah, the very first time I saw this movie, I did not like it really at all. But then rewatching this for this ranking, I I found a little bit of enjoyment the second time. This movie is really funny. It is hilarious. But I don't like the story, honestly. The story just doesn't do much for me again, and I don't know. But you know, I thought it was funny. I liked some of the performances. Francis McDormand was really good. Brad Pitt was okay. He at times he made me laugh, but at times he was kind of annoying. And George Clooney is my favorite in this movie. He is hilarious in this. But I didn't really care for John Malkovich, to be honest. He just didn't do much for me, and Tilda Swinton didn't really do much either. Yeah, this movie, I don't know. It's okay. I wish it was better, but it's not great. Or at least to me, it's not. It is funny though. It is a really funny movie, but the story that's what doesn't do it for me. But I am gonna hang on to this film because I do want to like this movie one of these days, and it's also the same with my number 13 as well. But yeah, number 14 is Burn After Reading. Okay. And number 13, same with Burn After Reading. Like I said, this movie, I want to like this movie because this actually wasn't a bad movie at all. I found some enjoyment out of this film. Same with Burn After Reading. Number 13 is The Hudsucker Proxy. This is probably one of their most interesting films, and this is like I believe their only PG film because most of their films are either PG-13 or R. And this movie, I don't know, almost kind of like a kids movie, but I wouldn't quite call it that because there actually is some dark stuff in this film. But I thought this movie was okay. What I liked the most about this movie, I think, were the performances by Tim Robbins and Jennifer Jason Leigh. I really liked them in this movie. They were both really good, and I now have a crush on Jennifer Jason Leigh because of this movie. I liked her a lot in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but this movie, I don't know. It made me really love Jennifer Jason Leigh in this, and I love her also in Hateful Eight too. But it's Tim Robbins, who doesn't love Tim Robbins and Shawshank Redemption? This actually came out the same year Shawshank Redemption did, 1994. But yeah, this is a really interesting film. It's actually a fictional story about how the hula hoop was made. It's not the true story about the hula hoop, but it's a fictional about it. And yeah, it's interesting. It really is. But I don't know. It was a little bit boring. I didn't really care for the dialogue too much, but the overtop performances by Jennifer Jason Leigh and Tim Robbins, that's what made the movie for me. And I really, like I said, I really enjoyed both of them in this film. And yeah, Hudsucker Proxy, it's okay. It's okay. And just like Burn After Reading, I'm going to hold on to it. Maybe I'll like it more, the more I watch it. So yeah, Hudsucker Proxy is number 13. Okay, now the rest of these films from 12 to 1 I do like. So yeah. Okay, so number 12, this was the last Coen Brothers movie I watched. I just watched this last night actually. I just finished it. My number 12 is True Grit. Now, yes, I know True Grit. I think this might be divisive. There is a lot of people that like it, though. And some people say it's one of their most underrated Coen Brothers movies. And I could probably agree with that. This is a very good film. But, I don't know. Honestly, I wasn't into the first act that much. But since the second act came in, I got more interested. And the third act was very good. I actually have seen the original True Grit with John Wayne from 1969. I actually have seen that one whenever I was a kid. I watched that with my brother once, and I don't remember much from it. I remember watching it, but I don't really remember much from the movie. I was really young. But But yeah, I thought this movie was pretty good. I didn't love it because, like I said, the first act was kind of slow, but it's still a good movie. Jeff Bridges, of course, as Rooster Cogburn was really good. I wasn't a fan of Matt Damon or Josh Brolin, though. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Josh Brolin in this movie. He plays the villain, but he just didn't do much, unfortunately. And Matt Damon, I mean, he was okay. I'm not a big Matt Damon fan, to be honest, so he was okay. But the best one in this movie, and I have to be honest, it's Haley Steinfeld. Haley Steinfeld, this was actually her first film, too. She was like 13 or 14, and she is really good in this film. She's the standout in this film. What made me really like the movie. And her chemistry with Jeff Bridges too was really good. Jeff Bridges is a close second. You know, he was very good in this film, but I thought Haley Steinfeld was the show stealer. She was so good in this film. But yeah, this movie, I didn't love it, but I thought it was pretty good for the most part. And I bet you most people are probably going to hate that my number 11 is higher than this movie. And you'll see why very shortly. But yeah, True Grit is my number 12. Okay, so number 11. Boy, people are going to hate me because this movie right here is most people's least favorite Coen Brothers movie. And I kind of get it because it's a really stupid movie. I actually enjoyed this film. I thought this movie was actually pretty funny. You ready? My number 11 is The Ladykillers. Yeah, I know. I actually really liked this movie. I thought it was really funny and really weird, but I enjoyed it. This is probably a Coen Brothers mate. I think this might be their weirdest film, to be honest, but I enjoyed it. I really did. Tom Hanks was really good in this film, and he was really funny. This is the only Tom Hanks movie, the only movie that Tom Hanks has ever done with the Coens for some reason. But he was really good. Same with J.K. Simmons and Marlon Wayans. He was kind of funny too. I enjoyed it. I thought it was. I thought this was a funny movie. And this is actually a remake to a British movie in the 50s, and I actually want to watch that version, but I haven't seen that version yet. But I liked this movie. Also, the old black lady in the movie. I don't know the actress, but she was pretty funny too. Yeah, this is. I actually enjoyed The Ladykillers. I mean, it's not a great film. There's definitely flaws, but I felt enjoyment from this film. And yes, some people are going to hate me that I have this over True Grit, but I'm sorry. I really enjoyed The Ladykillers. That is my number 11. It didn't make it in the top 10, but I still liked it. So yeah, Ladykillers, number 11. All right. Okay, so number 10. Now this one, some people might get pissed because I didn't have this higher. Because a lot of people really like this movie. My number 10 is Miller's Crossing. Yeah, I talked a little bit about this movie. It was, what was it, my top, or no. It was my what I watched in December list, and I thought it was a good movie. I did like this movie, but to tell you the truth, as I'm recording this, I don't really remember a whole lot from this movie. I don't know. I will say, I didn't care for the dialogue that much in this film. The dialogue kind of dragged it down for me. But there is some good moments in this film. And Gabriel Byrne is very good in this movie. So is John Turturro. And I don't know. I just wasn't a huge fan of this movie. But I still enjoyed it. And I just need to rewatch it some more, and maybe I'll like it better. I don't know. But yeah, this was actually a first time watch for me when I did this ranking. A lot of these movies actually were. But yeah, I don't know. It was a little bit of a disappointment, to be honest. But I still liked it, So, Miller's Crossing, that's number 10. All right. Okay, so number 9. This one I don't own. I don't even know if there's a physical copy of it. There might be. I don't know. But this is their last film. And I say, I don't know if there's a physical copy because it is a Netflix movie. This is the last movie they ever done together. And maybe their last, maybe their last forever. I don't know. Because I have heard that Ethan Coen, I think, is retiring. Joe Coen's still going to continue, but I think Ethan Coen might be retiring. It's pretty sad because I love these guys. But number 9 is The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I thought this movie was really good and really funny. This is an anthology movie. It has 6 stories, and I liked all of the stories except for the very last story. I didn't like that part, the last story. I didn't like that one. It was just kind of boring to me. But all the other stories were great. My favorite was actually the one with Tom Waits as the prospector. That was really good. Very entertaining, and it had very little dialogue in it, but I still really enjoyed that one. Also, the one with James Franco was really funny, and the opening one, of course, with Tim Blake Nelson as Buster Scruggs. Yeah, this was a funny movie, and I liked it. And then it is my number 9. Okay, we went from their last movie to now their debut film. Number 8 is their debut film, and that is Blood Simple. Yeah, Blood Simple is really good. It's different, though. It's very different from most of their films. This is kind of a more of a serious film. Like, there's little to no humor in this film, and but it is a thriller movie. It kind of, in a way, reminds me of David Lynch, in a way. And, of course, I like this movie because I love David Lynch. He's my favorite director, just in case you didn't know. But yeah, this is a good movie. A little bit slow, but still good. Frances McDormand, this is her debut film. And those of y'all don't know, Frances McDormand, the reason why she's in so many of their films is because she's married to Joe Coen. Little known fact there, but she is really good in this movie, and also M. Emmett Walsh as well. M. Emmett Walsh. Hopefully, I'm saying his name right, but he's the villain in this movie. I really like him. He was a good villain. He was kind of funny at certain parts, but yeah. It's a good movie. I highly recommend it. I don't think a lot of people have seen this one, but it's good. Blood Simple. That is number 8. Okay, now this one might piss some people off because, don't get me wrong, this is a great film. And this is probably a lot of people's favorite. But the reason why it's it's still in the top 10, of course, but the reason why it's number 7... Well, I'll explain the reason why. It's actually a flaw that I have with the movie, but I still really like this movie. My number 7 is Fargo. Yes, I know. Most people love this movie. A lot of people will say this is probably their favorite, but now don't get me wrong. It is a very good film. I love most of the performances in this film. Like, William H. Macy's great, and of course Steve Buscemi as well. And also, what's his name? Peter Stormare? I hope I said his name right. But Peter Stormare also. And my favorite is actually Frances McDormand as Margie. She is really good in this movie. My favorite Frances McDormand performance. However, there is a certain scene in this movie involving a character's death. And if you've seen the movie, you might know what I'm talking about. Maybe. I'll just say the character was played... I'm not going to... No spoilers, but the character was played by an actor I did not mention. And this actor's performance was okay, but their performance while they... in their death scene was hilariously bad. I thought... I was laughing my ass off the last time I was watching this movie, and whenever this character got shot... I thought it was hilarious because this actor was just so bad at it. I honestly think it's one of the worst movie deaths ever. And yeah, that part drags it down for me. That's the biggest issue that I have with it, was that certain character's death. Maybe if you've seen the movie, you might know what I'm talking about, but I really did not like that part. But it's still a very good film. Fargo's still good. I just don't love it, mostly because of that. But it's still a very good film, and it is my number 7. Okay, number 6. Now, number 6, I could be wrong, but I think this might have been the first Coen Brothers movie I've ever seen. Number 6 is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I really like this movie. I saw this in school, actually, in high school, and I thought, ever since then, I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious. George Clooney is hilarious in this movie. Maher. And John Turturro is really good, and Tim Blake Nelson. And also John Goodman, of course. He's great in this movie. Even though he wasn't in it too much, but still. It's a really good movie, really funny, and it's really interesting, too, because this is actually based on Homer's Odyssey, but it takes place during like the Great Depression. So yeah, it's really interesting, but yeah, it's one of their funniest movies, and I love it. And of course, the soundtrack is great. I have the soundtrack on CD. Man of Constant Sorrow, such a great song. Yeah, Oh Brother, Art Thou, great film. Number 6. All right, now we're into the top 5. Okay, so number 5. This might piss some people off because, along with Fargo, this one also is a lot of people's favorite Coen Brothers movie. I think for most people, they would say this is their favorite. My number 5 is No Country for Old Men. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest, before I rewatched this for the ranking, I actually wasn't a big fan of this movie. And I still will say that it's not one of my favorite movies, but yeah, at that time, I honestly thought it was a little bit overrated. Yes, I said it. But after rewatching it, I actually really like this movie now. I finally get why people love this movie. Do I love this movie? Not almost. I almost do. Not exactly. Because, to be honest, I still have issues with the ending. I don't like the ending, and I know most people say that the ending is the whole point of the film. Well, they should have done it better, because I don't like how they did the ending. They should have done it in a better way. But other than that, this is a great film. Of course, you got Javier Bardem as Anton Chigurh. He's definitely the best. He definitely gives the best performance in this film. Also, though, Josh Brolin is also really good in this movie. And Tommy Lee Jones, of course, as well. And Woody Harrelson's short cameo in this movie is also very good. And I also really like, it's a really underrated performance in this film. Nobody talks about her in this movie, but I really like Kelly MacDonald as who plays Josh Brolin's wife. Like, she could have easily been, like, an annoying character in this movie, but she really wasn't. She was actually, like, a very sweet and innocent person. And also, I just love Kelly MacDonald anyways. I kind of have a crush on her, and she was in Trainspotting, one of my favorite movies of all time. But yeah, I really liked her in this movie a lot. And, yeah, this is just a great film. I don't like the ending, but other than that, this is almost a masterpiece. And I still stand by when I say that There Will Be Blood should have won Best Picture instead of this. I'm sorry, people, but I'm on team There Will Be Blood. I think There Will Be Blood is a masterpiece. This is just almost a masterpiece. I mean, debate me all you want in the comments, but yeah, I think There Will Be Blood is better. But No Country for Old Men is still great, and it is my number 5. Okay, we're almost at the 30-minute mark, but we're almost there. We just got 4 more, so I'll try to speed it up a little. Okay, so Number 4, this was a first time watch for me, and I actually really liked this movie a lot. Number 4 is Barton Fink. Yeah, Barton Fink. I really liked this movie a lot. Now, whenever I started this movie, like during the first act, I wasn't a big fan of it, honestly. It was kind of boring me, to be honest, but it kept picking up. Like the second act was better. Like it was starting to grab my attention. And the third act for this film is awesome. Like, wow, it was completely unexpected, the third act. Of course, no spoilers, but it does involve John Goodman's character. Like, I thought John Goodman was okay in this movie. I thought he was just maybe like the comic relief of this film, but he actually does do something in this movie. Like, he's actually like he's probably the standout of this film, and the third act definitely proves that he is. Also, of course, John Turturro as the title character. Really good performance. Probably his best performance, if I'm going to be honest. No disrespect to Jesus and Big Lebowski. You know, we'll get to that movie much in a little bit. But yeah, I really liked Barton Fink. It's almost one of my favorite movies. I had to rewatch this movie. Like, I have a feeling next time whenever I rewatch it, it might become one of my favorite movies. Maybe. It's almost there. I really loved Barton Fink. I really liked Barton Fink, and yeah, it's really good. I highly recommend Barton Fink if you haven't seen it. It's very good. That is my number 4. Okay, number 3. Now this one, we're in the top 3 now. This, in my opinion, is their most underrated film. And I did a review of this movie too. Go check it out if you haven't already. I also did a review for Blood Simple. I forgot to mention that, but I did a review for Blood Simple. Go check that out too. But my number 3 is Inside Llewyn Davis. Yes, Inside Llewyn Davis. I think this movie is honestly a masterpiece. Like, this blends comedy and drama so well. And of course, the music is great. I love the music. I love the song Please Mr. Kennedy. So good. And Oscar Isaac, amazing performance. Carey Mulligan was also really good. She was funny too. John Goodman was hilarious in this film. Even Justin Timberlake wasn't bad. And Adam Driver's short appearance in the film I really like, especially during the Please Mr. Kennedy scene. He was my favorite in that scene. But I really like this movie. This is a great movie. Also has a cute little kitty cat in the movie as well. Just a great film. I love this movie, and I really like. Also really like the cinematography. Like, it looks so good. Like, it's so great looking, but it really fits the era of this film, of the story. So yeah, really great film. I highly recommend this one as well. Like, this is honestly one of my favorite films, to be honest. Like, these top 3 are in my favorite movies of all time. Like, in my top 50, probably. But yeah, Inside Llewyn Davis, really good film, and it is my 3rd favorite Coen Brothers movie. Okay, my number 2. I think this is probably the Coen Brothers' funniest film. My number 2 is Rasing Arizona. Yes, Rasing Arizona. This was only their 2nd film, but this movie is hilarious. And Nicolas Cage, of course, as H.I. High, he's great. He's really funny in this movie, and Holly Hunter is great as well. And John Goodman is really funny. Same with the guy who played his brother. I don't know who that was, but yeah. And I really like the motorcycle dude as well. He was great. This is just a really funny movie. And I love the chasing scene too, with the cops and the guy, the convenience store clerk, and the dogs are all chasing Nick Cage. That scene is great, and I love the music too playing in it. It's so funny. This is hilarious. This is actually my brother's favorite Coen Brothers movie too, and I understand because I love it. It's my second favorite. There's another movie I like better, but Raising Arizona is hilarious, and it is my second favorite Coen Brothers film. My favorite though, and if you've kept track of what's left, then you know what it is. And hopefully this will make some people happy because this is one of their most popular films. Most people, if not Fargo or No Country for Old Men, they'll say this is their favorite. But my number one favorite Coen Brothers movie is The Big Lebowski. Yes. And if you don't like The Big Lebowski, then that's just like your opinion, man. I say that all the time. Whenever someone doesn't agree with me, I say, well, that's just like your opinion, man. This movie, is one of the most quoted films ever made. There's so many great quotes from this film. Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Jeff Bridges, of course, as the dude is awesome. The dude of vibes. Yeah. And I also love Steve Buscemi as well as Donnie, and Julianne Moore as Maud. She plays a really weird character, but I like her. She's funny, and weird. And John Turturro as Jesus, of course. Nobody fucks with the Jesus. Even Philip Seymour Hoffman is really funny in this movie. Rest in peace, by the way. But he's really funny. He just laughs pretty much. He's like, it's pretty funny. But my favorite, the standout for me in this film, has to go to John Goodman as one of my all-time favorite characters in movie history, Walter Sobchak. I love Walter, man, and John Goodman just gives a great performance. If I'm going to be completely honest, he should have been nominated and maybe even won, the Best Supporting Actor award at the Oscars. But this movie didn't get any Oscars, so yeah. But his performance is so good. I love Walter. He is hilarious. He's so pathetic, and all he talks about is Vietnam and shit. And this movie definitely like in my top 3 favorite comedies of all time. It is hilarious, and it's ridiculous, but it's also but in a good way. It's definitely one of the funniest movies ever. And one of my favorite comedies, and I would even say one of my favorite movies of all time. It's in the top 10, and it is my favorite Coen Brothers movie. Number 1. All right, there we go. There is my ranking for the Coen Brothers movies. So, in the comments, give me your ranking for the Coen Brothers movies. If you haven't seen any of their films, that's fine. Just give me the ones that you have seen, or just give your top 5, or just say what your favorite and least favorite is. There we go. And also, if you have any recommendations for any director, just let me know in the comments. If you want me to rank any other directors' films, let me know in the comments. I'm still doing Martin Scorsese and Tim Burton and David Lynch. But any others, just let me know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I was really looking forward for this. Hopefully this video will do well. But please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. And I'll see you next time for a review. Yeah, I'll see you then. Okay. Peace.